You don't lack opportunity. You never did. The doors have always been there. The keys have always been inside you. But discipline, that is the gatekeeper. That is the lion at the threshold. And without it, opportunity is just a shadow, a ghost, a promise never fulfilled. Discipline is the difference between knowing and becoming, between dreaming and doing, between the man who speaks of greatness and the one who lives it. It is the invisible hand that molds character, reshapes destiny, and burns mediocrity to the ground. And until you master it, you will keep chasing moments you should be commanding. You will keep looking outside when the revolution must begin within. So I'll say it plain, your issue is not the lack of a miracle, it's the absence of mastery over self. The world is not withholding success from you, it's simply demanding you become the kind of person who can carry it. Let's tear the veil from your eyes. Attitude, the seed of discipline. Every man wakes up with a blank canvas, but few pick up the brush. Why? Because their attitude, the way they see the morning, the mirror, and their mission has already been poisoned. If your attitude is weak, your actions will be weaker. And if your actions are weak, your results are an illusion. The disciplined man understands. Attitude is not inherited. It is chosen, forged, cultivated like a sacred fire. You don't rise in life by reacting. You rise by choosing your state before the world chooses it for you. So let me ask you, when you rise, do you complain or command? Do you stumble into the day with the weight of yesterday? Or do you charge in like a warrior, sharpening his soul on the blade of routine? Your attitude is your compass, and it is your discipline that calibrates it each day. Routine, the silent architect of greatness. Show me your routine, and I'll show you your future. Because success is not a moment. It is a rhythm, a beat, a pattern of right decisions etched into the stone of habit. You want to be rich? Show me what you do from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. before the world even opens its eyes. Show me your inputs, your diet, your mind feed, your inner talk. Every empire starts with one stone, laid every morning, not when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. Discipline means showing up when no one is watching, when no one is clapping, when the reward is invisible and the pain is real. Discipline is brushing your teeth while broke, reading while tired, writing while uninspired, creating when you're being ignored. It is deciding, I will not be a slave to emotion, to laziness, to the myth of motivation. I will not negotiate with weakness. Mindset, the throne of transformation. Most people are prisoners in a kingdom they were born to rule. Why? Because their mindset is corrupted. They believe success is out there instead of in here. Discipline is the weapon that conquers this lie. Discipline rewires the brain. It retrains the body. It bends the will toward power. Mindset is not about positive thinking. It's about powerful thinking. Thinking that slices through excuses like a sword. It is choosing to think like a builder, not a beggar. A victor, not a victim. It is understanding that your mind is a battlefield and every day you either win the war or you surrender silently. The disciplined don't just think, they think like soldiers, with precision, with purpose, with power. Words, the blueprint of destiny. Your words are bricks. You are building your future with every syllable. A man of discipline guards his speech. He doesn't throw around declarations of doubt and poverty like confetti. He knows words are seeds, and the mind doesn't care if you plant weeds or wheat. It will grow whatever you water. Stop saying, I can't. Start saying, I will. Stop saying, I'm tired. Start saying, I'm training. Stop calling hard things impossible. Call them preparation. The disciplined man speaks the language of builders, not whiners, not wishers. He speaks to create, not complain. Focus, the power of saying no. You want to change your life? Start with this one discipline, the discipline of saying no. No to distraction. No to shallow relationships. No to scrolling. No to splitting your energy across 10 things when you haven't mastered one. Focus is not a gift. It is a decision. And that decision must be renewed every day. The man of discipline understands you don't get rich by chasing 10 rabbits. You get rich by chasing one with every cell of your being until your breath runs out or the prize is yours. Focus is sacrifice. It is saying no to the good so you can say yes to the great. Energy fuel for the fight. Discipline touches even how you sleep, how you eat, how you move, because the body is the vessel of your dreams. You don't get to treat your body like a junkyard and expect your mind to be a palace. The disciplined train, not to look good, but to be lethal, focused, clear, present. They don't need caffeine to get through the day their mission wakes them up. They eat like warriors. They rest like champions. They train like their life depends on it, because it does. Discipline begins in the temple of the body. Emotions, servants, not masters. There is no breakthrough until you master your emotional state. Discipline teaches you this. Emotions are messengers, not masters. You feel tired? So what? You still train. You feel afraid? So what? You still speak. You feel rejected? So what? You still rise. Discipline is the muscle that says, I will not let my emotions dictate my destiny. You do not wait for the feeling to act. You act and the feeling follows. This is the art of the warrior. To feel deeply, yet move decisively. Time, the currency of kings. The undisciplined waste time. The disciplined invest it. Every second is a seed. And what you plant today will grow into your life tomorrow. So the disciplined plan their days. They protect their hours. They say no to noise. They create boundaries. Because they know time is not money. It is more than money. You can earn back dollars. You cannot earn back moments. How you use your time reveals what you truly worship. Use it like gold. Spend it like fire. Guard it like your future depends on it. Because it does. Growth, your only guarantee. Discipline is the doorway to growth. Not talent, not luck, not circumstance. The disciplined man reads, learns, fails, forward, breaks, rebuilds. He doesn't need to be perfect, only present and persistent. Growth doesn't come by chance, it comes by choice. Daily, hourly. It is not a destination. It is a decision. You either grow or you rot. There is no standing still. Legacy, the final proof. Discipline is not for the moment. It is for the mission. Your name is being written, whether you know it or not. The question is, will it be remembered? Discipline builds legacy. It creates a life that echoes, a life that outlives you, not because you were lucky, but because you were ready. And readiness, my friend, is not born of hope. It is forged in fire. The fire of discipline. You don't lack opportunity. You lack obedience to the daily grind. And until you kneel to discipline, you will never rise to your destiny. You want to be free? Then you must be bound to discipline. Because freedom is not found in escape, it's found in alignment. When your habits reflect your values, and your values are non-negotiable, that's when your soul breathes deeply. You don't become powerful by chasing ease. You become powerful by embracing the weight, by choosing what you carry and carrying it with strength. Discipline is not punishment. It's protection. It's the fortress around your focus, the steel in your spirit, the edge in your voice when you say, I am not here to survive. I am here to build. Faith fuel for the long game. Faith isn't passive. It's not sitting around hoping something good happens. No real faith is active, aggressive. It says, I don't see it yet, but I'm showing up anyway. It builds the ark before it rains. It sharpens the sword before the battle begins. Discipline and faith are brothers, one acts, the other believes. Together, they forge momentum that cannot be stopped. You won't always feel ready, but readiness is a choice, not a circumstance. You move because you believe, and you believe because you've decided, I will not betray the future waiting for me. Sacrifice the currency of the great. Nothing great is built without giving something up. You want mastery? Sacrifice comfort. You want clarity? Sacrifice distraction. You want freedom? Sacrifice indulgence. The man of discipline trades short-term relief for long-term respect. He delays the dopamine. He postpones the applause because he knows the process is the prize. Sacrifice is not loss. It's an investment. You let go of who you were to step into who you were meant to be. Action where your dreams learn to walk. There's no substitute for doing the work. Not affirmations, not vision boards, not wishful thinking. Action is the blade that cuts through doubt. It's what turns fear into fire and frustration into fuel. You will never think your way into a new life. You will act your way there. Discipline demands that you move daily, repeatedly, relentlessly, even when you're tired, especially when you're tired, because that's when the muscle is built. Not just the muscle of the body, but the muscle of resolve. Adaptability disciplines silent twin. The world will not adjust to you. It will throw storms, setbacks, slaps in the face. Discipline alone is not enough. You must be flexible. You must bend without breaking. Adjust without losing your center. Shift without selling your soul. Discipline without adaptability is rigidity, and rigidity cracks. But discipline with adaptability, that is flow with a backbone. That is the man who evolves faster than the chaos around him. That is the leader who doesn't just survive, he reinvents. Responsibility, the mark of the mature. There is no power without ownership. You cannot complain your way to excellence. You cannot outsource your greatness. The man of discipline owns it all, the missed opportunity, the mistake, the misstep, not because he enjoys blame, but because he refuses to be powerless. Responsibility is not a weight, it is a weapon. When you own it, you can change it. When you claim it, you can rise above it. The undisciplined avoid mirrors. The disciplined face them every day and say, this is my life, and I will make it worthy of the breath I've been given. Relationships, your inner circle shapes your outer world. Discipline includes who you allow into your world. You do not walk with the weak-hearted if your path demands courage. You do not share your energy with cynics if you're building empires. Discipline says no to noise. It says yes to alignment. You don't need a crowd, you need clarity. One mentor can shift your direction. One partner can multiply your purpose. One honest friend can hold you to your highest standard. Surround yourself with those who fan your flame, not those who fear your fire. Because iron sharpens iron and dull minds breed dull futures. Integration. When the internal becomes inevitable. Now look not from a distance, but from the inside. Attitude, routine, focus, mindset, sacrifice, action, adaptability, responsibility, relationships. This is not a checklist. This is your system. This is how you turn desire into discipline and discipline into destiny. You are not waiting for motivation. You are becoming the kind of person who no longer needs it. You are not hoping the world gets easier. You are becoming stronger, clearer, harder to kill, impossible to stop. This is no longer about doing something impressive. This is about becoming someone undeniable. The peak when you no longer chase. You create, and one day it will happen. You'll wake up and realize you're not chasing anything anymore. You're not hoping. You're not hustling for scraps of validation. You're not begging life to give you a chance. Because you have become the chance, the source, the force. You walk in the room and shift the energy. You speak and the world listens. You move, and others follow. Not because you sought fame, but because you earned respect. Because you trained when no one watched. Because you rose when no one clapped. Because you lived the code when others just quoted it. You became the kind of man who could carry the weight of greatness. And in that moment, you will remember, you never lacked opportunity. You only needed discipline. You see, every morning you wake up, you're either building your future or burying it. Every decision is a brick. Every delay, a crack. Every excuse, a theft from the man you were supposed to become. This is not about productivity hacks. This is not about getting more done. This is about becoming dangerous, focused, locked in. This is about walking into the storm with your eyes wide open and your soul on fire because discipline has made you unbreakable. Resistance, the dragon you must befriend. Discipline doesn't mean you don't feel resistance. It means you've made peace with its presence and still move anyway. Resistance is not the enemy. It is the test, the guardian at the gate of transformation. It is that voice that whispers, not today. The fatigue in your bones, the voice of your past begging you to stay average. The man without discipline believes resistance is a stop sign. But the man forged by fire, he hears that voice and smiles. Because he knows if resistance is showing up, he must be getting close. Close to the edge, close to the breakthrough, close to the place where most people quit and he chooses to rise. Identity, the root of all discipline. You will never outwork the image you hold of yourself. Discipline begins not with doing, but with being. Who are you when no one's watching? Not your title, not your income, not your followers. Who are you in the dark? When the alarm rings and your body screams no, when the world isn't cheering, when no one cares, because that's where identity is formed and where destiny is forged. You don't build discipline by wishing for results. You build it by looking in the mirror and declaring, I am not the man I was. I am becoming who I must be. And then proving it day after day after day until your identity catches up with your actions. And then your actions catch fire. Mastery when effort becomes art. There is a point beyond discipline, a place past grind. It's where the repetition becomes revelation, where your habits turn holy, where your work becomes worship. This is mastery, not perfection, but possession. You no longer push yourself. You are pulled by something deeper. You're no longer trying to succeed. You are success in motion. Mastery is the reward for those who don't quit at 99%, who don't stop when it gets boring, who keep hammering the same nail until the wall finally breaks. And when it does, the floodgates open, momentum hits, and you realize everything you wanted was already inside you. Discipline just dug it out. Vision, the fire that fuels the grind. Without vision, discipline dies. Because pain without purpose becomes suffering. But pain with purpose, that's power. What are you building? If you don't know, you won't last. Because no one disciplines themselves for a life they don't believe in. Vision isn't fantasy, it's clarity. It's the blueprint in your soul. It's the cathedral you see long before the first stone is laid. The man of discipline doesn't just get up early, he knows why. He doesn't just grind, he's guided. He sees the future, he's already living it. And every rep, every word, every hard choice is a vote for the man he's becoming. That's why he can suffer. That's why he can wait. That's why he can sacrifice. Because he's not working for today, he's building for eternity. Humility, the companion of giants. Discipline will take you far, but without humility, it will make you blind. You must be hungry enough to keep growing, teachable enough to keep learning, grounded enough to remember. The mountain doesn't belong to you, you're just climbing it. The disciplined man is not arrogant, he's anchored. He knows he's never finished, that his strength doesn't make him better, it makes him more responsible. Humility is what keeps the flame pure, what keeps the discipline from becoming pride, What keeps the success from becoming self-destruction? True discipline bows before truth, before growth, before the sacred call to never settle. Stillness, the hidden discipline. In a world addicted to motion, stillness is rebellion. But the man of discipline knows rest is not weakness, it is wisdom. He trains his stillness the way he trains his body fiercely, intentionally, consistently. Because silence sharpens the signal. Rest renews the fire. Reflection resets the compass. The disciplined do not fear pause, they use it to aim more precisely. They do not confuse burnout with bravery. They do not confuse noise with movement. They know. A lion rests, not because he's lazy, but because he's about to pounce. Standards, the laws you live by. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your standards. The man without discipline sets goals and then negotiates when things get hard. But the man with discipline, he sets standards and they become law. He doesn't wake up wondering what to do. He knows. He doesn't question whether he'll show up. He already decided. He doesn't argue with weakness. He outpaces it. Standards are not suggestions. They are sacred contracts with your future. And every time you keep one, you tell your mind, this is who I am now. That's the secret. Discipline isn't just what you do, it's who you become. Persistence, the quiet brutality of not quitting. Discipline is not loud. It's not flashy. It doesn't demand attention. It just keeps showing up. Day after day, mile after mile, rep after rep, without applause, without fanfare, without needing anyone to notice. It is the slow grinding of stone into sculpture, the daily refusal to quit, the quiet violence of consistency. You want to know what separates those who make it from those who almost did? One more rep, one more day, one more phone call, email, pitch, prayer, sentence. The undisciplined stop when it's hard. The disciplined stop when it's done. Ownership, the final turning point. The moment everything changes is the moment you stop blaming. No more they. No more it's hard. No more the system. The day you stop pointing outward and turn the sword inward, that's the day you become free. Discipline is the refusal to outsource your life. It's saying, if it's broken, I'll fix it. If it's lacking, I'll build it. If it's missing, I'll become it. Because everything you don't like about your life is either something you created or something you allowed. And the moment you own that, not in shame, but in strength, you step into a power few will ever know. Obsession. When discipline evolves, there is a place beyond balance, beyond just enough. It's called obsession. And most people fear it because obsession means commitment without compromise, desire without distraction, focus without exit. But if your dream is massive, your discipline must become obsession. You cannot casually conquer your calling. You cannot tiptoe into transformation. You must burn for it. And when you do, when your mornings, your actions, your thoughts all orbit around your mission, the world bends. Because obsession is magnetic. It pulls opportunity. It attracts excellence. It scares mediocrity away. You were not born to be balanced. You were born to be consumed by purpose. Fear the signal that you're close. You feel it, don't you? That tremble in your gut when you're about to do something that matters. That voice whispering, what if you fail? What if they laugh? What if you lose? That's fear, and it's sacred. It only shows up when something powerful is on the line. But here's the truth. Discipline doesn't eliminate fear, it carries it. It walks with it, works with it, turns it from a cage into a compass. Fear doesn't mean stop. It means you're standing at the edge of growth. So jump, not recklessly, but with the full force of a disciplined spirit, because on the other side of fear is freedom. The long game planting trees you'll never sit under. Most people play for today. some for next year. A rare few play for legacy. The disciplined man doesn't just build for himself. He builds for those who come after, for the strangers who will be inspired by his story, for the sons and daughters who walk on the ground he paved, for the world that desperately needs examples of what's possible. Legacy is not built in a day. It's carved over decades in silence, in darkness, in struggle. And it begins with one decision. I will live in such a way that my name becomes a blessing. Discipline is how you make that decision again and again until the whole earth feels the weight of your presence. And now, we come to the edge, the place where most turn back, where comfort whispers, you've done enough, where fear begs you to return to the familiar, where the world claps for a version of you that is still unfinished. But you are not here for applause. You are here for ascension, because now you know. You don't lack chances. You don't lack talent. You don't lack time. You lack the decision to show up when it's boring, to speak truth when it's risky, to hold the line when it would be easier to fold, to rise when everything inside you wants to lay down. Discipline is the proof that you are serious, not just interested, committed, not just inspired, transformed. This is your reckoning. This is the moment you decide. I will no longer negotiate with weakness. I will wake up early. I will move with purpose. I will train when no one is watching. I will do the work, hold the line, pay the price again and again and again. Not because it's easy, but because I have chosen the uncommon road. Because I don't want the life that most people settle for. I want fire. I want clarity. I want to look in the mirror and see a man who did not run from the weight, but carried it, who did not chase opportunity, but created it. And when they ask you how you did it, don't say luck. Don't say timing. Don't even say talent. Say this. Say it with fire in your eyes. I chose discipline, and I never looked back. Now go. Be relentless. Be unshakable. Be disciplined, and become everything they said you never could.